My name is Rachel Harris, and I'm turning 33. I live with my husband Adam, who is 3 years older than me, and our 7-year-old son, Peter. We're a family of 3. Today, I'm going to a friend's wedding with my husband. Even though I call them friends, they're more like Adam's friends, and I only recognize them by face. The wedding is at a fancy hotel, and I'm amazed by how luxurious it is. While Adam greeted people he knew, I stepped away to use the restroom. As I was walking back to the ceremony, I heard a rude voice say, "Oh, look at that defective person. Why are they even here?" I thought, what? Who are they talking about? It felt like the people nearby were saying mean things on purpose, loud enough for me to hear. It wasn't just gossip, it was clearly offensive. But no one spoke directly to me. I didn't want to deal with such rude behavior, so I walked away. Suddenly, I heard someone shout, "Hey, ugly, can't you hear me?" I ignored it and kept walking. My name isn't ugly, and I wasn't going to let them bother me. But then, I heard quick footsteps behind me. Before I knew it, someone grabbed my arm tightly and it hurt. "Wait a minute. I'm talking to you," a woman shouted. I looked at her and pulled my arm away. She stumbled backward, acting all dramatic. Another woman rushed over to help her, giving me a dirty look. "Lauren, are you okay? Why are you being so rough?" she asked, glaring at me. What's going on? Who are you?" I asked, confused. She snapped back. "Who am I? You really don't remember me, do you? How rude." When I asked that, she raised her eyebrows, surprised. "Huh? What are you talking about? Do you really think you have the right to act like this, with just a high school diploma? If you've forgotten, let me remind you I'm your sister, Lauren. Does that name ring a bell? And this is our mother. Can you honestly say you've forgotten your own mom?" I thought for a moment and nodded slightly. Maybe there was someone with that name in my past. But I didn't want to waste time talking seriously with them. My response only made them angrier. At that moment, 3 men hurried over. "What's going on?" "We could hear the shouting from over there. Lauren, aren't you ready yet? You're still in your regular clothes you need to change for the wedding," one of them, who she called Dad, said. Lauren pointed at me and yelled, this suspicious person sneaked into our wedding. Get her out of here right now." The 3 men reacted very differently. The one she called Dad looked at me with wide eyes and then a clear look of displeasure. The other man, Noah, froze in shock, his face turning pale. "Why is Rachel here on such a happy day?" Noah asked, his voice unsteady. "She must have snuck in by mistake. It's unbearable. Someone call security." "Wait, watch what you're saying," Noah quickly added, his face still pale. "This person is—" While the man called Dad agreed with Lauren, Noah tried to intervene. I muttered under my breath, "You really know nothing," but no one heard me. Just then, Adam appeared. "Rachel, there you are. I've been looking for you." Everyone turned to him. I smiled slightly and said, "Sorry, I got caught up with some strange people on my way back." I moved closer to Adam. He quickly assessed the situation, understanding it right away. Lauren's face changed when she saw me standing next to Adam, glaring at me with anger. Her parents still looked confused, not fully understanding what was happening. Noah was flustered and was the first to speak. "Mr. Harris, I apologize. My wife said something inappropriate." "I'm really sorry to your wife too." "Come on, Lauren, you should apologize as well," Noah said. "Why should I apologize?" Lauren shot back, pointing at me again. "She's the one who should be sorry. This disrespectful person barged into our special day. I don't know how she got here, but she's a disgrace to our family. We should have cut ties with her a long time ago and never seen her again." "Wait, family?" Noah looked shocked, glancing between me and Lauren. Just then, the 3 people called Dad and Mom stepped in. "Oh, Noah, we're so sorry. We have a difficult eldest daughter. It's embarrassing to even talk about her. We've managed to keep it a secret all this time. We kicked her out of the house 10 years ago. How did she even find out about Lauren's wedding? What does she want by coming here uninvited? She's not trying to ruin the wedding, is she?" Mom continued, "Actually, Noah, she's not very bright. She only finished high school and couldn't get into college. After that, she just wasted time doing part-time jobs, staying at home, and being a burden. She was like a parasite. She should be thankful we supported her through high school. So, why did she sneak into the weddings? Even though they treated me badly, I had cut ties with them a long time ago and didn't care about their insults. These people were, technically, my family, at least on paper. But my parents had always favored my younger sister, who was 7 years younger than me, and had ignored me for as long as I could remember. My father's family had been doctors for generations, and our home was also a clinic. My mother worked there as a nurse. To outsiders, our family probably looked like we had everything we needed. But in reality, it was a toxic home. I remember trying hard to win my parents' love when I was young, but I eventually gave up because their favoritism towards my sister made no sense to me. She was seen as attractive and I was not. Luckily, though it might sound strange, I was smart and did well in school. So I focused on my studies, aiming to leave home as soon as I could. Back then, I felt like I was just playing the part of the defective older sister in the family. I won't allow you to go to university. You're a defect by nature, and there's no way you could get in. Start working right after high school, become independent, and contribute financially to the house. You should be grateful we even raised someone as unattractive as you. You owe us for that. As for college expenses, we'll consider it for Lauren, but there's not a single cent for you. You'll spend your life serving us. Even if you get a job, it won't be anything important. This is what my parents told me during my senior year of high school. I actually recorded that conversation, along with many other times they verbally abused me or acted irrationally, and I still have those recordings today. My sister, Lauren, also treated me poorly, following our parents' example. She would often mock me, trying to prove she was better. I'm going to become a doctor and take over Dad's job in the future. I'll work hard enough for both of us, since my big sister can't. Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, learn from her mistakes, and do your best, Lauren. Don't worry, we'll support you fully, unlike your sister. You're truly our pride. They would have conversations like this right in front of me, as if I wasn't there. It felt like watching a bad play. After high school, I worked different part-time jobs for about 4 years. I still lived at home, even though they called me a burden. They wouldn't let me leave because they wanted to use me when it suited them. But secretly, I rented an apartment. Even though my family kept saying, "We won't forgive you if you do this," or "We won't allow that," I realized after turning 16 that I didn't need their permission anymore. Of course, there were challenges like needing a guarantor for some things, but I made it work. I also intentionally reported less income from my part-time jobs so they couldn't demand much money from me. I started investing, slowly building up my savings. When Lauren was preparing for her high school entrance exams, she claimed she couldn't concentrate with me around, and I was kicked out of the house. My parents probably thought I'd come crawling back, but for me, it was the perfect chance to finally be independent. They must have been surprised that I, the daughter they thought was incapable, never returned. But soon, it didn't matter to them. For my parents, having Lauren was enough. Now, 10 years have passed since then. I overheard a heated argument between Lauren and a man named Noah. Today was their wedding day, so now they're married. Although my sister's name was on the invitation, I didn't think much of it at the time because I had already lost interest in this family. Why are you taking her side? I've been saying she's suspicious. Just her being here ruins the mood.
Kick her out.
Lauren demanded. Noah replied, I've told you several times. I invited these people. You even checked the invitations with me, remember? They're official guests, so you should apologize for what you said earlier. Hearing this argument so close to their wedding was unsettling. Just then, my father suddenly looked surprised and said, Wait, isn't he the son of the head of Harris General Hospitals? My mother was equally surprised. Harris General Hospital? The famous one? He's the son of the head doctors? Lauren added, shocked. In the middle of their stares, Adam introduced himself with a smile. Nice to meet you. I'm Adam Harris, and this is my wife, Rachel. Adam's parents are well-known doctors who have managed a hospital for years, and Adam is being trained to follow in their footsteps. Hearing this, my parents were amazed. Noah then spoke up. It's unbelievable, but to think that Dr. Harris's wife is my wife's sister, what a coincidence. That means we're related now. Unable to hide his surprise, Noah apologized. Dr. Harris, I'm sorry if my son has caused any trouble in the past. Before he could say more, I cut him off. My sister's husband, Noah Schnapp, is a doctor and works at a university hospital. I took my son to see him recently because he wasn't feeling well, but that's all. Adam has many connections with doctors, and it seems Noah respects Adam a lot. Noah then asked, "How's our feeling now?" Based on my diagnosis, he should start treatment right away. I suggest you take him to my hospital for tests and hospitalization. Although Noah was kind in his offer, I replied, "Actually, we've decided to get a second opinion from another doctor. It's important to be sure." Noah looked surprised by my response. I sensed that he wanted to treat my son as a special case, but I was uncomfortable with the idea of my child being seen as just another opportunity for profit. I politely declined his offer with a smile, but suddenly, a mocking laugh echoed through the room. "Why are you acting like that? Are you trying to make up for being a high school graduate by marrying a doctor? You think marrying the heir of a big hospital makes you better? You're still the same. Your education hasn't changed, and you think too simply. You actually have a child? Poor kid, with you as his mother," Lauren sneered. "Hey, Lauren, please stop. We're family. Why do you keep saying such things?" Noah tried to calm her down, but Lauren glared at him, standing firm in her opinion. Then Adam spoke. "Rachel, are these people really your family?" he asked with doubt. "No," I replied. "They can't be called family anymore. A real family wouldn't suddenly scold you for no reason, or refuse to feed you just because you spilled a little food. They wouldn't give me old, second-hand clothes they found in a dumpster while laughing and comparing them to the fancy clothes they gave my sister. They wouldn't throw away my school materials, saying I'm too stupid to need them, or ruin my textbooks by soaking them in water." I continued, "A real family wouldn't strip you naked in the winter for not lending a book to your sister, or lock you in a hot shed in the summer. They wouldn't sell your belongings behind your back or tell you directly that you're expected to work for them for life. People in town noticed the unfair way the clinic treated us and suspected abuse. It's no surprise no one takes their kids to their clinic anymore. It's amazing no one reported it when we were younger. Now their business is failing, and they don't even realize it's their fault." As I calmly revealed the cruel things from my past, Noah looked shocked. My parents were equally stunned when they realized I knew about the clinic's financial struggles since I left. My in-laws had discovered this information while investigating, deeply sympathizing with what I went through. Adam felt the same and had looked into my parents' clinic, possibly as a form of justice. Lauren interrupted, shouting, "Stop it. Stop lying. We didn't do any of that. It's your fault for being a failure." "Noah, don't believe her." But it was too late. Noah looked at her with disdain. I thought to myself, none of this would have happened if she had just ignored me and walked away back then. But then Noah spoke up. "No, actually, it's you who's lying." "Me? Lying about what?" Lauren responded in disbelief. "That Mrs. Harris only graduated high school. She has a college degree, is a successful businesswoman, and the CEO of a company that provides food for hospitals, including ours," Noah explained. "CEO?" My sister gasped in shock, staring at me like she couldn't believe it. My parents looked just as surprised. "Stop lying. She's just a high school graduate." "Are you saying she went to college behind our backs without us knowing?" my mother accused. "Yes, I did go to college," I replied calmly. "I was already an adult, and I didn't need to tell strangers who aren't my family." "What are you saying? How can you speak to your parents like that?" "We didn't give you permission to go to college," my father shouted. "Why would I need your permission?" I replied calmly, and they couldn't hide their anger. After high school, I worked various jobs and saved a good amount of money. I used that money to pay for college because there was still so much I wanted to learn and achieve. Living on my own gave me freedom, and I proved I could do anything. While in college, I started my own business. That's also when I met my husband. Looking back, it fills me with a lot of emotion. Meanwhile, my sister mumbled to herself, her face pale. "I can't believe it. I always thought she was the useless sister who couldn't do anything on her own, that she would be nothing after being kicked out. But she graduated from college, became a CEO, and married the heir of a major hospital. Why? I thought I would be the successful one. Why is she more successful than me? Why does she look happy?" "Why indeed?" I replied. Maybe it's because, despite being treated unfairly, I never gave up and kept working hard. Maybe luck helped a little too. I looked at my sister firmly, then revealed something shocking. By the way, I heard you dropped out of middle school. Is that true? This revelation left everyone, including my parents and Noah, completely stunned.
What? What are you talking about?
Who dropped out of middle school? My sister snapped back, though I admired her attempt to deny it. I heard from a distant relative, someone who has always been kind to us. I continued. When I left home, you thought you could easily get into a top school without studying. You went into the exam unprepared and ended up writing almost nothing, which led to you failing as expected. After that, you started acting out at home and shut yourself away for a long time. You only came back into society when our parents introduced Noah as a suitable husband for you, I explained. As I spoke, Noah's face grew more serious, while my parents and sister turned pale. The information came from a distant cousin on my father's side, who is known for being good at gathering details. Though we only met a few times when I was a child, he looked after me and even acted as my guarantor. You're lying. What are you talking about? My sister protested, trembling. But I continued. Actually, the claim that you work in medical administration is also false, isn't it? In reality, you don't have the qualifications and you're only doing basic tasks, not handling any real responsibilities. At least some professional ethics are being followed. Stop it. You're lying. All of it is false, she cried out. Maybe, I replied calmly. What I heard was just a rumor. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. At that, my sister quickly turned to Noah, studying his face. He looked doubtful, confused, and clearly disappointed. Lauren, you told us you graduated from a prestigious women's university, had qualifications, and were helping with your family's hospital. Was that all a lie? Falsifying your academic background is fraud. Have you deceived me? Noah asked her directly. No, Noah. Don't just believe her. You're my husband, you should trust me, she pleaded. Then name even one professor from the university you claim to have graduated from. He challenged her. Flustered, my sister struggled to respond. That's not important right now. Really? Well, let's call a professor from the department you said you attended. They're also a family friend and know us well, Noah proposed, ready to find out the truth. As he said this, Noah calmly picked up his phone. Please stop. That's not necessary, Noah, she pleaded, panicking. You trust me. That's enough. Lauren suddenly snatched Noah's phone from his hand and slammed it onto the floor. There's no need to check, just believe me, she shouted. Fueled by anger, she stomped on the phone with her high heels over and over, completely destroying it. Her face twisted in rage, almost like a monster, shocking Noah and everyone around. My parents tried to calm her down, but her anger wouldn't subside. The scene caught the attention of other guests and staff, who gathered around, concerned. The venue turned chaotic with the sudden outburst. Even though I was there, it felt like I was watching from a distance. I no longer felt any connection to my sister or my parents. My family now was just my husband and son. Shall we go home? I think we've done our part here, I said to Adam. He looked a little surprised and asked, Are we leaving already, Rachel? I smiled calmly. It's okay, let's go. Oh, and let's stop by the cake shop in this hotel and get some cake. I heard there's one that's really popular right now. Adam smiled and agreed. That sounds like a good idea. Let's pick up a cake on the way home. We left the venue with a light laugh. Later, I heard that Noah got involved in a lawsuit for giving false diagnoses and overcharging patients. After that, my former parents, facing serious financial trouble, tried to reach out to me for help. Not knowing how to contact me, they showed up at the hospital where Adam works, hoping to see us. She's the daughter-in-law of the hospital heir. She's our daughter. Let us see her right away. Contacting the son of the hospital director will solve our problem. We're in big trouble, and we need her help. After all, we raised her, so it's only natural for her to support us, they loudly proclaimed at the reception, causing a scene. But it wasn't Adam or me who responded, it was my parents-in-law. With a firm look, they asked, What business do you have with our daughter? My parents, clearly unsettled, froze and quickly left the hospital. They tried to reach out several times after that, but they never focused on fixing their own problems. Eventually, their hospital had to close down. When I heard about the closure of my parents' hospital, I didn't feel much emotion. Instead, I felt a sense of relief, like they were finally facing the consequences of their actions. It was one of the most refreshing moments for me. Later, I learned that Lauren and Noah had divorced. I was surprised their marriage had even lasted a few months. The lawsuit Noah was involved in, along with his dismissal from the hospital, must have seriously damaged their relationship. Lauren always seemed determined to outdo me and find greater happiness, but she kept making bad decisions. Her first mistake was starting an affair with an older, married doctor, thinking it would help her gain a better position. But when the affair was discovered, the doctor's wife demanded compensation, and it became a big issue. Desperate, Lauren turned to our parents for help, but they disowned her, calling her a disgrace to the family. I don't know what happened to her after that, but she had struggled since failing her high school entrance exams and had spent a long time isolated at home. She ended up working in shady places, facing many hardships that affected her health, and eventually left her homeless. Hearing these stories made me lose interest in her completely. Meanwhile, my former parents, now nearing retirement, are struggling to find jobs as doctors or nurses. No hospital will hire them because of their bad reputation, which likely stems from how they treated me and others in the past. They are just people from my past now, and I no longer think about them. As for my son, I'm happy to say that after being checked at another medical facility, he no longer needs to be hospitalized, and his condition has improved greatly with the right medication. I'll continue to do everything I can to protect my family,